The Trump administration launching investigations into 13 states, including Maine, that require state-regulated health insurance plans to cover abortion care. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Office for Civil Rights says the Weldon Amendment, among other things, protects Americans' conscious rights by prohibiting federal, state, or local government discrimination against health care entities that choose not to pay for or provide coverage of abortion. They informed the Maine Department of Insurance that the letter is a notice of compliance review and does not constitute a finding of violation.